Defects in the house. Triple threat. Triple threat. What is up, Defects? Monday night, 9 p.m. We almost started on time. That's pretty good. I feel like we've been a lot later recently than usual. We're trying to get back on track, but it is good to see you guys. It's good to see all you guys in the chat. Good to see my two brothers here with me. Let me say what up to Guy Forge first. What's up, brother?
What is up? Monday night, we're back. We're in full effect. All of us. Jay, I love the new setup. Love the new setup. It looks like he's like highlighted.
Special.
Look at that. Look at that. What's going on, guys?
I had to come back and switch it up, dude.
What's up, Jay? What's doing?
What is up, guys? Monday night, 9:04. Only 4 minutes late tonight. A lot to talk about. Comic book stuff. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
So we've had a show with the three of us, but we had Low on with us, and we had a lot of technical difficulties. So that was a little bumpy. Last week, Jay was out, I was out. Guy held it down with Gary and Erod. Thanks to those guys. Great show. But this is like the first time the three of us are back full, like no technical difficulties, just us three in a long time, right? Since like November. So this is good. So this is like, and I feel like this is a good, we're going to do a cool topic, and it's going to kind of branch out into all other shit. So I think that was a perfect time. That was a perfect show to kind of like make the first full return. Let's talk about the cameo versus the first full. Like this is the first full return, right? That's how I'm seeing it. This is like 181. 2 weeks ago, that was like Hulk 180. This is like 181. All right.
I listen. I wouldn't mind a second appearance from Low.
Well, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're gonna make it happen for you guys. So I think we're just going to get right into it unless you guys want to talk about some. I know we got to talk about the sponsors, but anything we got to hit on before we start the show, boys?
Now we'll get into King Kong. We'll get into the statues. I know we got something going on with Aegis. We got a lot to talk about. No news tonight, right?
Not a lot of news. I mean, you had something that was pretty good, so maybe I'll try to find the picture on that.
Yes, please do. Please do.
All right, let's hit the sponsors up, and then let's get into this shit.
First up, guys, the Presser's Presser. Let me start by saying this guy won't destroy your books and won't try to steal your customers. Erod 212 at Express Comic Book Pressing for all your pressing and cleaning needs. Defects 10 gets you 10% off. One of the most trusted in the community, guys. So tell Erod we sent you. And also check him out on YouTube for some comic wisdom. And next up, we got everybody's favorite Beaver, Mutant Beaver Comics. Defects 10 get you 10% off. One of the world's largest online retailers for exclusive variants, shipping worldwide. That's right, worldwide. So tell Patented B-Man the Defects sent you. I got tongue-tied there.
Jay was in like the bottom of the ninth on a no-hitter with like 1 out.
I was running out of breath, bro.
Oh, God. Somebody asked, who's out here stealing books? Listen, it won't matter because you're never going to use them because you're just going to use Erod. So don't worry about it. Just use Erod and you'll be okay.
Oh, no one's stealing books.
Defects 10. Good to see the chat. Good to see the chat. What's the sauce saying, Guy?
The sauce is throwing some questions out there. He said, I need your help. Did my first Comic-Con trade and I feel I made a mistake. What's your advice?
Let us know the books.
Go to Jay on this one.
Yeah, we need to know what the mistake was, and maybe we can try to help you.
Yeah, let us know the mistake while former Trout starts the show off. Usually he comes in at the end and just says thank you for everything, but my dude starts the show off right. That the $30 Canadian dollars. Hell yeah, great to see the three amigos back together, kicking it. El Guapo's butt. I like that.
We're like whores over here. We're used to getting the cash after we finish. A little cigarette, a little cash, and we go out the door. But tonight, we've been doing it so good, we get it before we even start.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
Trout always hooks this up. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's right. Let's give him a little Eva. Let's start off the show with a little bit of Eva.
Make it rain on me, Defects. Yeah. I can feel it. More.
Feel the
It's
click.
gonna be raining the night of King Con.
Oh my God. So we did this a few weeks back, and not probably about 2 months ago now. We did a wizard show, right? We grabbed an old wizard and we looked up some books. So we figured, let's do something like people really liked it. We said, let's do something similar to that. Pull out the old wizard. You know, if you saw, some of the clips from Jay at King Con, you'll know what you're talking about there. He had a wizard bless him. I don't know if it worked, but
It worked.
but we will. We're going to take some of the recent spec and we're going to kind of look it up from 30 years ago. So I went back. I found the February 1993 Wizard, and we got some pages from that. We got some cool articles out of there that we each kind of looked at. So we're going to touch on those, and we're going to look up some pricing, and then we're going to compare it to some modern day pricing, and we're going to just see where it takes us. What do you think? You good?
Sounds good.
Good to go. All right. Let me bring up the wizard.
The wizard.
The wizard.
Yo, dude, how awesome was it seeing a wizard at your comic book shop or your newsstand or wherever you bought comics back in the day? The wizards were dope, dude. It was something to read, and no matter what, every month it would come out, I would always check my books to see if they went up at all, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. So we're on the side. Let me see if I can make this thing full screen. What do we got here? Oh, nope. Can do it. Some quick in the comments. What's the hotkey for full screen on Chrome? I know one of you nerds know.
There you go.
What is it? I'm a nerd too, but I just don't know this one. While we're waiting for that, so this was a dope cover, right? You had Venom #1 coming out this month, so obviously that was, we had Venom featured on the cover, and this was a really interesting month or time period for comics.
Yep.
This was right during the what the hell was it? The death of Superman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you know what's crazy about this issue? There's so much on Valiant. I know we just scrolled by it, but when we go to the top 10 of the month for that book, all Valiant books. All Valiant and Image, guys.
Yep. At this time, actually, I think it even alludes to it.
Well, you were hitting that crazy time.
Valiant, Image, and Marvel were ruling the roost for new comics, but especially Valiant. And even back issues. Obviously, the books weren't too old, but some of the back issues were really heating up at this point. Lawnmower Man was in here. That was the big. There's a whole. It's funny. Yeah, right there. There's a whole article on movie and TV and show news, which is so funny because you don't really associate the 90s with that, but it was happening back then. It was like a 3-page article on that. So I mean, really cool stuff. We'll try to get to some of the articles as we go a little further. But let's look up some books, shall we? Who wants to go first, boys? We each pick 2 books. Who wants to go first?
I'll go last because I picked. I had to pick more than 2 books. I had to pick books that intermingled, and it makes a ton of sense. You'll see when you get to me.
There you go.
Joey,
So,
Joey, this is from February of
1993. 1993. Yeah, it's number 18.
Yep.
So let me scroll through and get to the price guide here, right? We're getting there. It's got to load. It's loading. But Guy, you want to go first?
Sure. And that's great, Marcel. It's a lot of people collected these too. A lot of this was a very collectible thing.
All right. While we're waiting on that, Guy, what book you want to go first with?
It doesn't matter. You pick one.
All
I
right,
started
so-
off with. Good.
Good. I was gonna say, let's go with what everyone knows. If they had a gun to their head and they say, what was Guy Forge gonna pick? Transformers #1. Okay. So 1984. Obviously, we wanted to make sure there was some little bit of dust on some of these books, right? That we were gonna look up. So let's see. Did Wizard load yet? All right. So it's so fun looking through these price guides even back then because it's just like. Not only for the prices, but it's like you just get the meat and potatoes here. Like, think about like if they made this now, how long the price guide would be because there's so many fucking titles out there.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. That's crazy, dude. It would just have to be strictly for major keys,
right? Because like this is like a lot of key. I mean, not a lot of the published books are in here, stuff that you probably never even heard of. So like, it wasn't, and there wasn't a lot of fluff. So that's to me, that's what stands out the most when I look through the price guide is just the number of titles compared to the number of titles that happened from like this point forward, right? All right,
Jay, Marvel Truth said he sent you $1 for your tattoo fund.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
That's gonna get you about half a second of ink.
I'll put that towards the next one.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So where is Transformers
But
there?
dude, how much cooler and how much better is it flipping through actual paper and pages looking at the price guide as opposed to pulling it up? And no knock on cover price or anything like that and GPA, but it's just so much better when you could just flip through and just take a look at everything and just scroll through with all cool articles in it. Dude, I missed it. They got to bring the Wizard back, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think it gives you like that nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because you used to do it. You used to do it and you used to feel like you wanted to find your book and and if your book was 3 figures, you were happy.
Yeah,
like it was like
but just looking at like this was from February, so they have the top 10 from December on there, and they have the top 10 from January on there, and you don't get that no more. You know, you get some cornball telling you it's hot, but you could go back and look at your own stuff based on sales and stuff. So, Wizards bring back the Wizard, or someone make a price guide.
Well, it's funny because I think when we were on Guy last time with McClay and Jay, I don't think you were here. He was talking about that somebody owned it for a while and they were trying to kind of resurrect it. Somebody still has, obviously, somebody has the rights to it still.
Yeah.
They were trying to bring it back maybe 10 or 15 years ago and it kind of just died on the vine. So they tried, but. So let's see. Transformers #1. I was actually kind of surprised that this was only a $2 book at the time. I was a little surprised by that. So maybe, I mean, obviously we know nostalgia kind of kicked this thing into gear. You know, if we start looking now, you know, and obviously the price guide, they usually just go by like a higher grade value. Obviously there was no CGC back then, so they were just kind of looking at a good condition book, you know.
See, this is where my question comes in, because obviously I don't know the answer. When did CGC and when did grading actually start?
Jay, do you know the exact year for CGC?
I want to say 2002 for some reason, but I'm probably absolutely wrong. But for some reason that year sticks out in my head.
Anybody in the chat know?
Yeah, somebody in the chat's got to know. January? No, that's not right.
I feel like that's a thing Otto would know.
That could be something Otto knows. 2000. Emerald Knight knows.
Yep, there you go.
All right, there you go. So yeah, so this is 7 years prior to that. So so they didn't really go. They just kind of went by. You know, when Jay and I were talking about this today, he's like, these prices this is just for like, and they didn't even have like I guess they kind of had like a little bit of a grading system, but it wasn't to what we know it to today. So these are just like a book in very good condition, right? So obviously we know now this book has had its ups and downs and different prints and different, you know, labels in the bottom left-hand corner are going to mean one, you know, whether your book's one way or another. But it's just pretty crazy that this was a $2 book 10 years after it came out, right? And look, #3 was basically the same price because Spider-Man was in it.
Yeah,
so,
you know what? When you pull up the GPA, Matt, I think up until about 4 years ago, that was a pretty like cheap book. $30.
Well, that's what I want to see. I mean, that's like the last piece of the puzzle, right? Let's see. It's from 19. I thought it was 84. Yeah, it had to be, right? This is saying 85. Maybe it was like one of those 84, 85 publish versus release. Let's see if this is it. Sometimes it's hard to tell on. That doesn't seem right. That's not it. That ain't it. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling. That's the one thing I hate about GPA. Sometimes you get just too much. You get too many choices.
Yeah. What was last sale on this? 3,400 and a 9.8.
There it is. Here we go. All right, let's get some data on Transformers 1 in a 9.8. Let's go to the 9.8. I'm sure they're going to separate it out by the different categories, but just the strictly first print 9.8, I think they separated it out. But yeah, I mean, Jay was right, because it's still kind of pricey back then. There's this is from 2013. It was a $230 average sale. If you go back to, let's see, 2010 is when things started popping off again a little bit. Yeah, you were below 200, and it just kind of steadily increased into the threes and blah blah blah. And then obviously we know 2020 is when this thing really jumped.
Yep.
Sure.
Quadrupled in price basically in a matter of like 2 months. That was probably when there was, obviously we had a lot of hype. There was talk about them reviving it and IP changing hands and this and that, and then plummeted, and then marched right back up, and now it's marching right back down. But last sale, like Jay was saying, is still $1,500, guy.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I don't know.
Newsstand,
would you pay $1,500 for 9.8 and Transformers 1, dude? I don't know, man.
Even I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
2,500 on the newsstand.
No,
would I pay 15? Well, you got to ask yourself this: if it's a book you want, is it a book I want, or is it a book I'm trying to flip? Right? Because now that's going to determine the two different reasons. Now, if it's a book I just want for my collection, and I'm a huge Transformers fan, I'm gonna want it in a 9.8. Am I gonna try to grind it out from a raw copy, try to get into a 9.8, or I'm gonna just try to jump myself right into a 9.8? I mean, I think I would still be looking for a little bit of the bottom, because I don't know if we're there yet.
What's the price on a 9.6?
Let's see what the disparity is. It's a good call. It's a big jump. It's a 5-time marker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Me, if I'm a big fan of Transformers, there's no way I'm dropping $1,500 on this book. The 9.6, that something still I wouldn't buy Transformers #1, but if I did want it for my PC, you might have to go 9.6 there, guys, if it's gonna stay in your PC,
Yeah, and
especially for that.
These both just recently sold. I mean, I feel like the $1,000 mark is kind of. I don't think I see it going lower than 1,000, but I could be wrong.
Like Supreme says, there's always GoBots #1, dude.
Yeah, there you go. There's
I like ways, GoBots.
What's wrong with GoBots?
There's other ways to get your fix, right? All right, so let's go to the second book. This was a good pick by a guy. Something that I didn't really think about.
We're doing both mine. All right, good.
Yeah, we'll do both yours.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
Let's hear what you have to say. Tell us what your second book is. Why'd you pick it? What's the deal?
What is
it?
it?
I fumble around try to find it.
What is that? Hulk 171? Is that what I told you?
Two.
172?
271.
271. There you go. I knew what it was.
You were never great with
like
numbers.
Nah, numbers aren't my thing. Yeah, 271. That's the first appearance of that little raccoon, that little shit.
So
second appearance, but first appearance of
first
Layla.
appearance, yeah.
First appearance in a comic, right? In Marvel continuity comic book, right? What was it? Satana magazine, right?
No, it was Marvel Premiere 7, I think.
What?
But it was the Satana cover.
Yep. Satana cover, right?
But you got double spec with this because you got Layla, who's in the movie.
Yep.
So
But how crazy is this?
Not that spike it as much as Rocket, but it's kind of like
no, it's
getting Joker and Harley Quinn both in the same book almost, right?
Fucking $3 book.
$3, dude.
Back then, and again,
that's where it comes into that character was non-existent on anyone's radar.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see the GPA on this too, to see how low it was before the Guardians 1 movie, to see before because Rocket wasn't on, like Guy said, on people's radar. Very
correct.
Low key character.
Well, all the Guardians, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We talked about that. We talked about how they were. I mean, we mentioned how these characters kind of came out of nowhere and just became household names, right?
Yeah. Yep. And that original Guardians team was so much different from what they did.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Remember the cover of the book?
Yep. Terrible.
Listen. We can call that for what it is. That movie itself is in our top 2, I think, for all of us on this panel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll tell you, like, it's crazy to say that, like, out of all the Guardians, like, they picked the right team.
Yeah,
They really
made
did.
It work. They made it work.
When did I don't remember the year. I just wanted to remember the year on the movie. 2014. Okay. So that makes complete sense. Because look, this was literally just a nothing book.
Nope.
I'm sure there was a gap in sales from 2009 to 2012. I'm sure there were sales, but there's just no reported sales. And that's probably when there was rumors of this coming. And that's when you started to see it jump over $100. And then this is a 9.6, but I figured let's not do the 9.8 because probably a little bit more rare. Right into the 250 range. Movie comes out. It goes to 360. Kind of hangs around a little bit. That's pretty long staying power. That's a full year that the book kind of stayed hot. And if anything, it actually went up over that year. And then it settled. And it was around the 200, 250, 300. And there was a couple peaks and valleys. And then in 2021 again, along with everything else around that April time period, it jumped to $600. And then again, it's come back to life, but it doesn't seem like it dropped sharply as everything else, Guy. And it's probably because people think that this third installment really revolves around him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy? So you got Rocket that first appeared in the magazine, right? Which is probably the money book, I'm sure. It goes for more than the comic. But the same with Star-Lord. You had Star-Lord first come out in the magazine edition, and then his first appearance in actual Marvel continuity and in comic books is so much cheaper than the Marvel premiere, But that's pretty cool. They both started off in magazine covers.
I didn't even think about that. That's good. So I see Sequential Geek say, not Wizard, no hype machines. Well, it's funny because there's an article in here. So maybe before doing the next set of books, we're going to look at an article. So sure. I know we all kind of picked, Jay, I know you looked at the top 100. Guy, I know you were looking at a survey. And I kind of looked at, my eyes always go straight to the Market Watch. And Jay, I'm sure you read this article too. Let's see. So this was really interesting. That made me think of this article. So I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I'll skim through it. So the Market Watch goes on to say, DC Comics is without a doubt the biggest news this month, thanks to the death of Earth's mightiest hero. The event chronicled in the pages of the now infamous Superman 75, which, by the way, also happens to be the best-selling Superman book of all time. Rough figures place it in the $2.5 to $3 million seller range. Crazy. When it was first announced 6 months ago that DC was going to axe Superman, the fans reacted by saying, oh, sure, they'll kill him off for a couple issues, then they'll bring him back. Okay, blah, blah, blah. The result, a book that's going nuts in the secondary market. The price is so volatile that on the date of its release, some stores were fetching as high as $35 to $40 a copy.
Oof.
So this isn't like a new issue. Like, this has been happening for as long as time, right? Was this dramatic increase in price due to the flock of comic collectors beating down the doors? No, it was because of the media attention surrounding this historic, though temporary, event. The non-comic book buying public was worked into a frenzy over this death issue by the media, and when the book finally hit the stands, they had to own it, no matter what the cost. Store owners realized this, and the uneducated consumer, right, the new buyers, along with their wallets, got raked over the coals. This shouldn't come as much of a surprise as similarly hyped books, Batman 428, Superman 50, and Alpha Flight number 106. So you got Alpha Flight 106 was like, I think a character came out as gay, I believe. That was the hype. Superman 50 had to do with a crossover with Fantastic Four. I think it was like Impossible Man or Molecule Man. Somebody in the comments might know. And the storyline was like taken from his first issue, right out of Fantastic Four. So that's why that was a big deal. And then Batman 428 is what is that, Jay? Fucking Scarecrow, is it?
Was that first Scarecrow? I'm not good with Batman.
With the Batman, yeah, me neither.
I will tell you this though. At that time, I was working at a comic book shop after school, and I would bag and board and like put sports cards in order and box all that stuff up. And the people that came into that shop for that Death of Superman was insane. And just like it says,
crazy,
in the article,
right?
it was on the news. I remember watching it as a kid all over, and people, like, you got so many different varieties of people coming into the comic shop, whether it was a businessman or a blue-collar guy. Everybody was grabbing multiple copies of that book. And look where it is now, right? Heavily overprinted like everything else in the 90s, and a book you could probably still find in dollar bins, polybagged and everything. Dusty and polybagged.
Thank you. Death of Robin. Yep, 428.
Well, you don't want
mixed up.
You don't want my 15 copies?
I was about to say, Guy, how many of those do you have unopened and
I
different
still had,
colors?
I still had when we were going through my stuff last year, Matt. I think we opened up about 8 of them that were still polybagged.
Oh yeah,
because you were like, dude, just open them. It's not. I was like, no, we have to keep them closed.
You got to keep them closed.
I don't know.
So, but what's funny, I mean, this is a cool article because this was one of the biggest hype machines of the 90s, and this was the early 90s. But it just goes to show, like, this author is annoyed because of the hype that gets driven behind these books that they know. And he goes on to say, where does he say it? After all the hype died down and the 24-hour comic fans vanished from the stores, the prices of these hot books inexorably began their journey down the price chart. That's to be expected. Anyone who falls for that overhype deserves a slap in the face to wake them up. Something they're sure to get whenever they check on their $35 copy of Superman 75. The one that somewhere down the line will be selling for a whopping 9 clams.
Wow.
So,
how's that for telling the future?
So, I mean, this isn't a new thing, right? Like, this happened then. It happened before that. It happened after that. And it's going to keep happening.
It's going to keep happening.
But from a DC point of view, it's a great business move, and I say so because you had the death of Superman, and then you had the rebirth of the other Supermans, which they included a character based off Shaq. So then you had all these sports fans coming to buy this book, based on the Man of Steel, and it was, at that time, Shaq was huge in basketball. You know what I mean? Everybody was grabbing his cards, and not only that, they grabbed the comics too, so... DC was doing their thing back then, man. They might have to go back to the archives and start looking up how to sell books again, dude.
Just start killing characters.
But you know what? I mean, for everything that we have to say about events like this and about things that get overhyped is we have to remember that it does help make the hobby bigger. Right, in a way, because sure, there's people that are going to get ripped off. There's people that are going to, they always say a fool and his money are parted shortly, right? However, it does bring in people that end up sticking around, right? And they become important parts of the community. So you can't always say, let's put it this way. These aren't going to go away, right? Things like this aren't going to go away. So if you have to take a silver lining, which that's your only option, because we can't eradicate something like this. So you have to take a silver lining, is that maybe out of the hype, you do get in some new collectors that become more versed in these things and realize they made a mistake, but then hang out in the hobby and continue to collect in a smarter manner. Right? See, I'm trying to be positive tonight.
Matt was the angel on the shoulder. I'm going to be the devil. I'm going to say fuck those people because those are the people that drive prices up. It's the same thing that happened here that happened during COVID. Everybody wanted the death of Superman that weren't comic book fans because they seen it on the news to go buy as many copies as possible, which jacked the prices up. Like people said in the chat, they were getting $100 a copy back then in their LCS. Fuck those people. I'm glad those people got burnt because you know why? They drove the prices up for all of us watching here and all of us that actually collect comics for whatever reason, covers, reading. So fuck those people that just wanted to make a quick buck. I hope they're still not around.
Jay, you're telling... Wait a minute, Jay. You're telling me...
I don't know if they were making a quick buck, though, either. I think they were just buying the book.
No way. They were buying... Those people were buying the book to send their kids to college.
100%. There was ordinary people with diamond accounts back then ordering 100 copies of these things. All right.
Yep.
Wow.
But you're telling me, Jay, that you've never bought a book for more money than you should have after you looked back on it?
Oh yeah, but of course. But me being in the hobby and me being a comic book collector, you get burnt every once in a while. I'm talking about people that are just coming in to grab a certain book and then leaving, buying it as an investment.
Oh, if you're talking about a person that literally wanted nothing to do with the hobby at all, period,
Right.
came in just to make a buck on that book, then sure.
Yeah,
But somebody that came in as a new comic collector or that led them into comic collecting and bought them at an inflated price, not to make a buck, but just because they thought that was the right thing to do. I see what you're saying. One that literally never had any interest in the hobby at all. Sure, I get that. And there was a lot of that.
That's why there was millions of copies sold to people that just said, you know what? Oh, this is the death of Superman. You know, and back then, even we didn't know, okay, they're killing off a character. It made major news. Listen, do we all think he was coming back? Yeah, but back then, I was like 11, 12 years old. Who knew? It was the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Speaking of making a buck, how about making $5? Wayne Watts comes in and says, too bad that the Superman didn't have his rookie card in the poly. Everyone could get their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Audible said they're still sitting on them.
Yep. At 100% still sitting on them.
Look at the share. Look at the pie chart for share of comic books this month. So Marvel leading the way, usual, but Valiant, Dark Horse, and Malibu.
Wow.
Sitting there right after DC, which is crazy. The Dark Horse stuff, I didn't, this was like a big Star Wars event that was happening, and those books were going for a premium every week. And I was reading an article on that here too. Like every week, that book would sell for $2 or $3, and the next week it'd be $5, and the next week it'd be $10. Those, because there wasn't a lot of them, so people were really into those.
Wow.
So that was my article. So I know Jay said you wanted to go last, so I'll do my books. All right, and then maybe we'll do.
We got to check out those top 100 and top 10 books.
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe we'll do my books, and then we'll check the top.
Yep.
And then we'll do your books, and then we'll do guys survey. Unless, Guy, you had something else too. Then obviously, whatever we want, we can look at the end.
Yeah, I had two things. Whatever you guys get.
Okay, perfect. We'll do two. We're gonna do two. Utah.
Do two.
Give me two.
2 times.
If you know what that's from, right in the chat. Utah. Give me two. I think I gave it away, but come on.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So we all tried to pick books that were kind of relevant. I picked books that are probably not going to show up as $5, but I'm curious to see what they'll show up as. So Fantastic Four, number 19. You knew I had to go Fantastic Four, right? Somehow I was going to work them in. First appearance, Rama-Tut. So no spoilers in the chat. None of us have seen. There you go, Wayne Watts. Good to see you, by the way. None of us have seen Quantumanium. I feel like this is the first time that none of us have seen a Marvel movie after the first week.
I'm rubbing off on you guys.
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad.
You suck, bro.
I'm rubbing off on you guys.
Now, full disclosure, we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Okay. We were supposed to go. It wasn't a choice not to go. We were supposed to go and plans. I wasn't feeling great, so we couldn't go. But so we want, I don't know what happened with Kang and the variants, and I think Jay's books have some similar stuff to do with this as well. But I wanted to pick a variant of Kang. So first Rama-Tut, we know, big book, Jack Kirby, $225. And just for like a reference point, like let's see what else is going in that range in this series. I mean, you could see Red Ghost, $275, The Mad Thinker, $225, Molecule Man, Super Scroll. That makes sense because where's Impossible Man? Impossible Man is number 11.
Brolo's back. I love Brolo. Brolo,
Yeah,
I got something to send
back.
you. You're going to like it.
What do we got?
Groundbreaking
go,
episode.
Brolo.
I don't know whether to take a nap or go back and off myself. It could be worse, Brolo.
It could be worse. That is true.
Oh, that's great.
So this happened. Now I'm just thinking out loud here. This happened right around Secret Wars, right? Not right around Secret Wars, but not too long after that. Less than 10 years. So I was looking where Impossible Man was, and that is $320 compared to Rama-Tut being $225. So it's just like a reference point. So let's check out what's going on with Rama-Tut these days. Don't know if he showed up in Ant-Man as somebody or not, but I'll be curious to see what that book's been doing. Fantastic Four. You know it's on my favorites. People flying on airlines are starting to walk out. Number 19. What up, Desired? What up, Chinmo? What grade should we go with? Like a 6.5? That looks good.
Yeah, I think like a 6.0 is a good grade for that.
6.0? Let's look at 6.0.
Yeah.
It's funny. The 6.0 sold for more than the 6.5. Maybe it was a white pager. So interesting curve there. Clearly, it kind of followed the rest of the market, but it looked like there was a little bit of support there because Kang, right? You could see this book was consistently, in the hundreds,
Flatline.
which
Yep.
is okay.
Flatline book. Yep.
But clear we jumped in 2021. Last sale $875. So I mean, if we're really comparing apples to apples, I mean you're probably talking like in this 9.4 range, $10,000 versus a $225 book back 30 years ago. So that kind of makes sense. But let's see what has this done in the last month. It went up in February. Let's see what it did. There was really no sales between then. So it kind of makes sense. The market really kind of started to bottom out in November. December, no sales. January, no sales in this grade at least. And then increase as Ant-Man got closer. That's a pretty significant jump actually too. 700 to 875. That's a pretty decent jump. So there you go. Looking at history to kind of predict where the future's going. These things continue over time. There's cycles. This isn't like a new thing. The spec game, the hype, the stuff that goes up and down is nothing new. This isn't something that the hobby can't survive. It just needs to correct itself, and I feel like we're getting pretty close. Next book was I had to do DC. I had to show some love to DC. And I was surprised Jay didn't pick this. You know where I'm going, Jay?
Yep.
Where am I going? What letter am I going to?
Hold on. You are going. I want to say
DC News.
Yep, I know.
Silver Age book.
You're not going first Green Lantern Silver Age, are you?
I mean, I figured you. I mean, we were just talking about it.
Yeah, you know what? And shout out
Showcase
to Emo,
22.
He got a great deal on that book. It's so funny because I was gonna pick that Green Lantern book too because
I thought you were gonna pick it.
Yeah, yep.
When you told me your two books, I was like, I'm surprised you didn't pick Green Lantern. So as you can see, this is a pricey book even back then, right? $1,900. But this is an iconic book, right? I see my Green Lantern fans in the chat. I see you. So $1,900 then.
And don't forget, that's almost near mint there that they're putting a high
exactly.
book,
I can't even imagine what that goes for. I can't spell tonight, huh? I can't even imagine what that goes for. Let's see. I think that's right. 22s. I mean, no 9.4s.
Oof.
Look at a 9.2.
Oof.
105,000.
Yeah. That's crazy.
66,000. I mean, this is a good marker right here because that was before the hype train. This was 2020. Wow. I mean, it's still, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I'm curious to see what the last sale for like one of these high book. Here you go. A 7.5 couple months ago sold for 50,000. So forget about these. These two numbers are way higher. If somebody had this and there was only an open market, if a 7.5 sold for 850, a 9.2's got to be going for 150 at least, probably 180. But yeah, that's I mean to get to that, what was it? 1900. To get to that 1900, you got to be in the you have to be in the 3.0. Nope, lower.
No,
2.5, 2.0, 1.8. You got to be in the 1.5 range.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably a 0.5.
Jesus Christ!
Wow,
what a book, huh? Where's the last sale on this one? Let's see. I'm just curious. I mean, there's obviously not a ton of sales of these. Right here. Here you go. You've had two recent sales. Look at that.
Yeah, I like what Mally says too, man. Problem
What's he
back
saying?
then was finding these books. No eBay, no internet.
Yeah.
Basically, it was mostly shows. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yep.
And no data like we have today.
Look at this. How just that little bit of news that we got just instantly spiked 2 sales in this grade.
Yep.
Because there's not that many of these out there. I mean, clearly.
One was Chris.
Yeah. I mean, look how many. I mean, there's these numbers under the prices are the number of sales in that period. This is 90 day. This is 12 month. So I mean, this is not a lot of sales. Like not. Here you go. This is probably like one of the heaviest ones right here. You know, just up and down. I mean, but still, this was strong. I mean, these are just the key. These are the kind of the blue chippers that never. You know, they're never really going to drop too far. So, interesting.
That's cool.
Let's do another article. Jay, what article you want to look at?
I like the top 10 from the 2 previous months, or you could look at the top 100 for.
All right, I think they're back to back, so we'll do both.
Yeah.
So no surprise there on number 1,
Right.
and no surprise there on number 2. Two of the most common books you find at an LCS just sitting in bins, and just like Euler said, most of these places have short boxes filled with these books.
This is a case study, a lesson for you, for the boys and girls out there that are every week watchers and viewers, that you gotta slow down on the FOMO.
Yeah, that's ninja funk right there.
You gotta slow down on the FOMO. Sometimes you gotta wait. Don't. What was what's his name? Who was the fucking coach from the Jets? He was like very motivational guy. Do you remember his name?
Obviously not that motivational.
No, he was very motivational, and he was talking about like Twitter, and he was like, "Don't press send, don't press send." He had a southern accent. Fuck, can't remember his name. Somebody, not Parcells.
It wasn't Parcells.
No, it was like in the early 2000s.
Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards. There you go. Herm Edwards. Yeah.
German.
Don't press send. He used to say. It's like, don't press buy. You know, like you gotta like pump the brakes. Because like Jay said, both of these books, I'll send it to you for free right now. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Look at that. Valiant
no surprise.
Taking over. Look, not a Marvel book yet. We're almost at 5.
First Bloodshot, right? And this is second. I'm assuming this is second Bloodshot. So you have Bloodshot
so
1
funny.
first and second Bloodshot.
It's so funny, like what you see and what. This is like the original FOMO.
Yep. Look,
See, Mikey Stooks remembered.
Valiant,
press
5, Valiant 6. Valiant,
Right, Shadow
7.
Man, Magnus, finally Spawn.
Finally,
More
Spawn, it's
Bloodshot.
Yeah, more Bloodshot and Image. Now in 1993, not one Marvel book on that top 10, guys.
How crazy is that?
Oh my god! But look at number 10. Look at number 10. Kill yourself.
Wildcats too.
I love the Wildcats book, dude. That's
Come on,
Yeah,
it was Jim Lee with hologram covers.
Yeah, hold on,
dude.
Jay, I love the whole long box I have.
Yeah, dude, that's the first appearance of Grifter, bro. That's a keeper right there.
I think, guy, you must have just got that from like an old comic shop in the 90s that went out of business and you just carried it out. Because that's how many they had.
I have a whole long box full of those covers, man.
Crazy,
all hologrammed covers.
That was
black
the
covers.
image. That was the Image takeover right there. The Image Valiant takeover, guys.
So here is, like Jay said, the top 100 from December.
We'll
here's
just
the
go
list.
over like the top 10 or 15.
Yeah, here's the list for December. The countdown of top selling titles sold as reported by. So I'm assuming this is New Comics, right? It's got to be.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's by
100%.
Diamond,
Yep.
right? So they weren't keeping track of back issues. So Venom number 1, we talked about that. He's on the cover. Spawn number 8 was on the list. Punisher 2099 number 1. I think I bought that off the rack.
Yep, I bought that off the rack as well.
2099 comics were big back then. Like that
Doom,
was something I
Punisher,
always bought.
Spider-Man, dude, they were awesome books.
Pitt was big back then. Wetworks, that's funny. X-Men, Uncanny
those
X-Men.
those covers were like hologram too, Jay. That's why.
Yes, they were.
Yes,
And they were textured, I think.
Yeah.
They were like a cardstock. Yeah, here's Doom 2099 number 2. I'm jumping around. Man of Steel, Punisher, Wolverine, Action Comics. That was interesting. Action Comics is number 20. Interesting. But look how far, like, you get to number 6 to get to X-Men, and that's like the new volume of X-Men. It's okay, Uncanny. You got to go to number 7 until you get to Uncanny X-Men. Until like an actual like mainstay. That's funny. You got to go that far down the list. So even back then, people were looking for more than just the old standbys on New Comic Book Day. Yep. Let's go to the bottom half. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Justice League Europe. Oh my God. Classic Star Wars, Quasar, Showcase 93, number 2, Eclipso. That's pretty funny.
Now, is there any books on that list, Matt, because it's so small on my screen, that stand up that still held value to this day? We know the Venom one.
Let's take a quick look. How funny is that? Incredible Hulk, Future Imperfect. I didn't even know that came out back then.
Dude, look how many Punisher books are on that list.
It's funny. There was a lot. I noticed that there was a lot of Punisher books on here.
I just saw Darkhold, number 5.
Did you? Oh, that's
Number
funny.
76.
That was the Spirits of
Yeah.
Vengeance of Spirits crossover. It's at the bottom. Then 66. You said no.
75.
Oh, 75. Where is it?
Oh, remember the Robin books, dude? The Robin
77.
3s?
I don't see anything that sticks out. Avengers 359.
No.
That's number 83.
Yeah, that's low on the list. Bloodshot number 2, Spider-Man 31, Ravage. Remember Ravage 2099?
Yep.
Oh,
Ghost
Harbinger.
Rider 34. Oh, Harbinger, yeah.
I have a whole fucking box of that too.
So really nothing.
Nothing crazy.
Hulk 402? No, that's nothing, right? No.
Ghost Rider 34?
Yeah, but it's 31, 28 and 31 are the ones. Nothing. That's so funny.
Crazy.
Batman Adventures number 5?
Nope.
Yeah, not yet. We weren't there yet. What if
number 86?
Yeah, exactly. The list is so diverse, man. What was the other top 10 on there?
So the top 10 here were. This is who's in the top 10 by publisher. So you can see obviously Marvel was still on top, but
Yep. X-Men 5.
and then here's the. Oh, this is from the prior year. So I'm sorry.
2
Is
years.
this from? Yes, there you go.
Yep.
So, oh no, this is December. This is the December. December 92's list. So they're showing you December 91's list. So X-Men 5, Uncanny. X-Men was huge at this point, right? So it's not a shocker. Warlock and the Infinity Watch, right? We're going to talk about that. So
Yep.
that's up there. X Factor 75. That's more X-Men. Wolverine 51. So I mean, again, nothing crazy, but.
It's so funny, Hector,
That's
because I
funny.
had that Ren and Stimpy number 1, the scratch and sniff poly bag.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
Can we see what 95 to 100 is? I think I showed that already, didn't I? I'll zoom in for you, guys. Can you see it? It's clear, right? You can see it?
Wow.
Yep.
There you go. Ask and you shall receive.
That's funny.
All right.
I think everybody in the world is waiting for their Turoks to explode.
Yeah, seriously. Jay, let's hit yours up. What do you want to do first?
All right. I'll go. I did Kang too, but I kind of compared. I started looking into it, and there was a couple of interesting things. So we'll do Avengers number 8
Okay.
from '64, classic Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. First appearance of Kang in his original Kang form.
So many fucking A's. Okay. 190.
190. So what stuck out to me here was the first appearance of Kang was 190, but you brought up the first appearance of Rama-Tut, which was 225.
Yep.
So Rama-Tut was the money book back then. I don't know if it was because it was earlier Fantastic Four.
It's probably what it was.
Yeah, but it was more expensive than the Kang, dude, and you see how
That's
it
funny.
changed then, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool.
You know what's even crazier, Jay? If you just look at the next line, Wonder Man is 210.
crazy.
You know what I mean? More expensive than Kang.
Yep. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting that Rama-Tut was not much more, but $35 more than Kang at that time. But then again, it was, and the books were only about a year off. The FF19 came out in 63, the Avengers 8 in 64. So I kept going with that basically, and then we could look up all three prices when you go on GPA. And I figured, why not do all the Kang books to see where they were? Well, we can't do Iron Lad, and we can't do the Scarlet Celestial. So I looked up the first appearance of Immortus as well, which is Avengers 10, which was a couple of 2 issues after Kang, and boom, labeled as Immortus, right? First appearance of Immortus, a different form of Kang, in at 175. So they were all pretty much neck and neck, but the Rama-Tut was the money book, man. But I believe that I think that has to do with more of it being an early FF book,
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, because even like, obviously if you get in the top 4, but like if you compared 5 through 10 versus the take 5 out of it, 6 through 10 for Avengers versus 6 through 10 for Fantastic Four, the prices were much higher for Fantastic Four.
Right. Yeah.
So I think, like you said, it's just the title.
But anything could happen. We could see Rama-Tut be that money book and go higher than Kang's original form again, from what I've been hearing. It could. You never know. And I feel like that's probably, I think just like back then, it was, if you let's just say the characters are equal. If you're just saying book versus book, the Fantastic Four is probably a more desirable book, right? Yeah.
So, and that's obviously what the market thought as well back then. So, you want to look these up on GPA first, or is there another one?
You don't. I'm sure people know what they are now. I'm sure obviously it ain't gonna be 190, 225, and 175. But I just thought it was cool to compare the books like that, and seeing that Rama-Tut was more of the money book back in 1993 than the original Kang. And then Immortus wasn't far behind. They were all pretty much neck and neck. So
I'm just curious to see Kang real quick, like what that's been doing. Just quick.
I have a question with it, Jay. While Matt's looking at that, is it just because the Fantastic Four? The idea of the Fantastic Four just held more water, like they were just more popular. Like it was just like.
I think so. I think that had a lot to play with it because listen, the books were only a year apart. They were both written by Stan Lee and illustrated by Jack Kirby, so there wasn't much different. It just might have been Rama-Tut was a more popular character back then, but I believe it was just based on it was an early Fantastic Four book that made it, and it wasn't much more. Like I said, it was only $35 more than the original Kang, but in 93 things changed.
I'm just curious to see.
It's just funny to see what moves
the movie. Yeah,
it's funny to see what moves that.
Yeah, well, you don't know too. Not as much movies back then. There was that cheesy Fantastic Four movie back in the 90s, but then you had the Fantastic Four cartoon. Like, who knows what could have drove it? And back then, who was thinking about Kang and Rama-Tut and Immortus? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I would have found the other books too, Scarlet Celestial and Iron Lad, but obviously they weren't in this wizard.
Yeah.
To compare,
Yeah.
But I figured let me do all the Kang books. It's funny you picked the Rama-Tut, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I kind of did that on purpose when you told me your book. I was like, let me do Rama-Tut.
Yep.
Yeah. So just GPA, I was just curious to get a couple sales after the movie, and a couple of them were up, not by much, but it really hasn't dropped. I have a feeling this book you'll start to kind of see a curve either flattening or slightly going up, because from everything I'm hearing, even people that didn't really like the movie, they say Jonathan Majors was just on another level. So and you're gonna get him. He's gonna be around for another 2-3 years. So I have a feeling that this book may just kind of stabilize. I'm not saying it's gonna spike. Don't run out and buy this if you're hearing this. I'll be interested to check in on this book again in like a month or 2 months, or the next time we see him again. You know what I mean? What else are we looking up, Jay? Or those the only three?
So then, I'm sorry?
You had another one, right?
Yeah, okay. So then I went with, Warlock's my guy. We're going to see him in Guardians 3. So I went Thor 165. which I believe is the money book for Adam Warlock. That's my Adam Warlock key, if my major key for Adam Warlock. But I did the same thing. I pulled all his first appearance, cameos, cocoons to compare prices back then, and you'll see it changes again here. So you could see there the Thor 165, 1969, again Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, first full appearance of him, who we all know later becomes Adam Warlock. What was also interesting about this was it's not labeled in here. It doesn't say Warlock in parentheses next to his name. And you could see it, a $45 book back then. A $45 book. So I'm like,
what's
we all
funny
know
is...
what that...
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, we all know what that book is now. We don't really have to bring in prices. So then I was like, you know what? Let me check the other Adam Warlock keys first appearance. Because it's, depending on who you ask, listen, some collectors believe 180 is the first appearance of Wolverine. Others believe it's 181. It's whatever you believe. I'm not here to argue with anyone. It is what it is. But I just wanted to compare prices for you back then. So we got that. The Thor 165 and at $45. So right away, I went to Fantastic Four number 67 from 1967, right? 2 years previous to Thor 165. Again, I picked another Stan Lee, Jack Kirby book. And in there, I believe it has parentheses. It's labeled, right? This one's actually labeled.
Yep, 66.
66
and 67.
What's 67 say?
It says him. And the other one says, can you read that?
Yep. Okay. Perfect. So it's labeled. So we got the 165 Thor that wasn't labeled Warlock, but we got the 67 that was labeled, and this was the money book back then, because the Thor 165 was $45, and the FF67 was $100. So pretty much doubled, and that has changed now.
And it's funny. I think we touched on this when we were first looking at the Wizard originally. I think I picked it back then. Yeah. And I was going over the Warlock stuff when we first talked about this.
And it's crazy because the 165, like I said, was half what the FF67 was. So then you know how to pick the third Adam Warlock first appearance, Marvel Premiere #1. My first book that I picked that's not from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
I feel like we're in the movie Clue, and we're running to the other rooms. But wait,
yeah,
there's more.
So Marvel Premiere #1, 1972. Roy Thomas and Gil Kane. Warlock is named Adam. Well, sorry, him is named Adam Warlock by the High Evolutionary, who we're gonna see too. Who I picked that book too. We could go over that real quick. On the label, what's it say, Matt?
Him now called Adam Warlock.
Yeah, so $40, right? $40. So you got the 65 and a $45 from 1969. The Marvel Premiere from 1972, which was $40, and then the 67, which was the money book. But that's changed now too, because it's 165. That's pretty much the money book, right? That's what I mean. That's what I didn't look up. I didn't look the GPA up on 165. And FF67. Say
that again.
If we could pull that up on GPA, because
we could do that.
I'm pretty sure. I'm 90% sure the 165 in the same grade as the 67 is still got to be more money.
Yeah, well,
right?
That's a good question. That's what we're gonna look, because I honestly don't know. But you know what? It's funny because I was gonna say what Guy said before. So I want to look up one more book in here to see where it lands on the spectrum, because we saw that the Thor book, even though it was not much older, but older than the Marvel Premiere book, they were the same price. I remember looking this up, and we kind of were saying what happened with Spec, and it was Strange Tales. And it was the Warlock storyline. It was right at the end there. And those books were expensive. Where are we? Strange Tales. There it is. So the 178 is a $30 book, right? And all it is the origin. So that's literally right there with that Thor and that Marvel Premiere book. And I don't want to say a much, but that was a newer book, right? That was a couple of years later.
Yep.
And this was kind of right around the time of we were getting close to the Infinity Gauntlet series, because this book actually spikes to like $180. I think when the 180 or three, it was something. It was a big jump right around the time of the Infinity Gauntlet comic series. So
and it's rare. It's very rare. And UniX is in the chat. He'll tell you, right, it's very rare to get books spiking because of comic book news.
right.
But if you're a collector, it's fun, and that's where X kills it. He's always putting out the comic spec, like what's gonna happen in these comics. So definitely check his page out.
All right, so let's look at 66, 67. Yo, BX, what up?
I think an 8.0 is a fair grade.
8.0? 8.0.
Books. Yeah.
Okay. So last sale, 289, 90 day, 289.
289.
Go,
That's for the 67.
66. I'm gonna go to the 67. We'll just go through them quick. I have a feeling that it might be close between 67 and 165, but let's see. 576 for an 8.0. I bet you a 165 is not much higher than that. It's probably 620. So pretty close. So not so close on the two Fantastic Four books.
Yep.
But let's see what this is. Past it. Too far. Too far. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Where are we at for an 8.0? What do you think?
What's this, the 134?
No, the 165.
Sorry, the 165.
Yeah, what do you think?
I'm going to say probably neck and neck, dude. It got to be a little bit higher.
Oof, it actually jumped. Yeah, look, this actually increased a little bit. Interesting. From the 90 day, so a $930 sale.
Yeah, there you go. So that's funny how the market changed over time.
It's a big disparity between a 7.5 and an 8.0.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say, but I would say they're pretty close, those two books. Because this is a big jump.
Yeah, when people ask me what's the Thor book, it's the 165, dude. It's the cover's badass. It's that dope black cover, probably hard to get in a high grade, but that's the Warlock book, man. They're all great books. Listen, the Cocoon's a great book. The Marvel Premiere's a great book, but that 165 is the 165.
What did you have another article or guy?
And then the last book I chose of the movie hype, and since we have Thor up, was Thor 134.
Yeah.
November 66 again. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, first High Evolutionary, first Man Beast, first Fafnir, triple spec, but everybody knows it's the High Evolutionary that's moving this book. And this is labeled as well, even back then.
Yep. First High Evolutionary.
$50?
$50.
Yeah, $50. And this is the introduction of Wundagore Mountain. So you got a whole bunch of things going for this book. Great book to have.
If you look at it kind of compared to everything around it, it's not that much higher than the rest, so it's not like they were really valuing it over the, like it wasn't a huge premium on it, but there was something,
But crazy though. See, listen, $50 was still a lot of money in '93 for a comic book.
It was.
You know what I mean?
Guy, what were you looking at here?
You got 2 pages that I was looking at. I was looking at page 1. I don't know where you are right now. What page you on?
I'm on 98.
Okay, good. So page 100, which was really cool. I know Jay will appreciate this too. This is where you got into the Marvel trading cards that they put in here every month, which was cool. Along with the comic books, guys. I know I was gung-ho on these. This is series 3. If you go back up a little bit, they have series 1 and obviously series 2 as well. But these are the originals. These series 1. I mean, I don't know how many of these I have, but I love these things, man. And I used to look in here to see. I mean, it was just funny. Look, Wolverine is $1.25 because Wolverine was better than the rest of these guys that they're worth 25 cents. Venom $1.25. Thanos $1.25.
Go to the holograms. We can see what the holograms
right here in the top left.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
$11 each.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
I
really?
have the Silver Surfer one. I know that for a fact. I have the Magneto one. I have the Wolverine one. Like, these are the cool things because these we went out to buy them ourselves. And then you got to see how much they were worth. And it's like, obviously everyone was doing it. Not everyone, but I mean, I was doing it with baseball cards and hockey cards and football cards and basketball cards, and this is just like another thing added to it. I was like, oh, now I get to have comics on cards too.
Yeah, awesome, dude. I used to love.
You know what's cool to look at is just the common cards, the standouts, right? The Wolverine.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Wolverine's original costume, Silver Surfer,
Thanos,
Deathlock, Ghost
Venom.
Rider,
Ghost Rider,
Sabretooth, and Venom. Like,
yeah, those are the standouts.
we're all like 90s kids, like not born in the 90s, but we were like kids in the 90s. These were our guys, and it shows with these trading cards, right?
And Geek
Go ahead.
he pulls out a great point. On the back of those cards, they used to label 180 as the first appearance of Hulk.
As the first appearance.
Yeah.
Which brings me to Matt. If you could go back down to the price guide, I'm curious to see what Wizard had in as the first appearance of Hulk, whether it's 180 or 181 back in 93. I'm going to guess it's 181 because that was probably still an expensive book right there, but I want to see the
But
price.
I think, Jay, they changed it, to be honest. Because if you look at Wizard 1 and then look at this one, I think it's different.
I think I might be right. Well, let's see. Oh,
It would probably be
of
on an
course.
Incredible Hulk, no?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
see, they have a cameo versus full. Fuck, they were even saying it back then.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm curious. I would love to know what it says in number 1. Or when they first did the price guide. Was the price guide in number 1? I think it was.
Well, you'd
Yeah,
have
that's
to go
cool,
back
dude.
to like Overstreet, right? To see really where
Where it really started, yeah.
where it really
I'll
jumped up.
I'll finish it off with this now that you're back at the beginning. Go to page
Yeah.
19.
Okay.
Go to page 19, which I think this is one of the coolest things. Obviously, everyone has different jobs, but knowing what your job is, and I'm in sales, and you always look for ways to get better. And what a cool thing. I know this sounds silly, but this was a marketing thing, guys. This is not a joke. It looks like it's a joke. It was not a joke. This is like a well thought out thing, and they made it like a joke. It says, "Does Wizard suck?" But this is marketing 101. This is
I feel like
finding
this is
out
something
what
we would do, like
this is 100%. This is finding out what the people want and what works. So this is strategic. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, in my opinion, about this. This is exactly they knew what they were doing,
this is
and
pretty
it's
cool.
so funny. Yeah, no, it's so funny. Even the wording about what they do, and they even give advice. They said if you collect this book, just Xerox this page and fill it out in pen and send it to us, because they didn't want you to ruin the book too. So that's advice from comic collectors telling you not to rip the page out.
Absolutely.
Isn't that
Pretty
funny?
funny. Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
there at the bottom.
Yeah, so cool, so cool.
Xerox it. That's funny.
Yeah,
Oh my god. There was another cool
but that's a
thing
cool.
that
That's a cool page.
That is. That caught my eye too when I was flipping, but see, look, there's the Warlock resurrection. That was a big thing happening at the time. There was something in here. I don't want to give it away because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but hold on.
Uni X. That's all I think about, my man.
Terminator
I mean,
2.
dude, look how dope this magazine is. Cards, comics, video games.
16
dude,
book
someone
power.
needs to revive Wizard or make... Guys, come on. Here's your opportunity in the chat. Someone with some publishing knowledge, start putting out these books.
And what was really cool too?
This was
I don't
the
know what
movie-
page. I don't know what
movie
page
and
it is.
TV news section.
What's really
ahead.
cool is everybody putting their artwork in here every month,
Yeah.
like random people, and you have like guys that are 13 years old, guys that are 30 years old, guys that are 20 years old, like, and just have a drawing put in there. It says their name, it says their age. That was really cool to look at too, because you're like, oh man, if I send something to them, if I draw something, maybe they'll put it in the book. So like that's a cool thing too. I mean, they hit a lot of points with this book, man.
Here it is. This is funny because this actually came out recently. So I was flipping through it and I got to the TV and movie section and I was just kind of skimming through it and I was reading and it says, what does it say? Terry Mace, Mad Max, is writing the script for Columbia's Black Panther. Though Wesley Snipes' schedule is full for the next year or so, if he's going to do the project, it'll be sometime in 1994.
Wow.
He did an interview with comicbook.com, I think, because he just put out a comic book. He actually had the rights to Black Panther for a while. And he said and he was doing the interview and he said it and he talked about it. And he said he didn't want to talk about it, but he said there was something that was supposed to happen that never did. So I think that's what it was. And I'm like 99% sure here that I'm connecting the dots correctly. If anybody knows what I'm talking about in the chat, put it in there. But I saw the interview with him and he talked about that he had the rights to Black Panther. And then I saw it right at the top of the page and I was flipping through and I was like, oh my God, this is what he was talking about in that interview. And didn't happen. So
Yeah, Jay, you see what Akuma said?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Check this Wizard number 1. What did I tell you?
Guy, what's our buddy Adam doing?
Adam Barnhart, guys, comicbook.com. He posted this today. And thought we'd
That's how you
throw it up
segue,
for
by
him.
the way.
Yeah, a little segue. You can pre-order the Keepers of the Cosmos, guys. This is a badass book. There's codes on there. There's cover A. What does it say, Matt? I can't see. Cover A1.
Yeah, you got
cover
one.
B.
Just the lunar code and the diamond code. So
There you go.
we talked about him. He did the Kickstarter. He was on here. He's been big friend of the channel.
Yeah.
Hyping this book for a little while. He wrote this. He
his baby.
creator owned. And it's his baby going on sale. So if you want to show some support, actually is really good. We read a little preview of it. He's a really good writer. Check it out. It's on pre-order now. It comes out in March. So congrats, Adam.
Keepers of the Cosmos.
That's right.
Such a cool book.
What's next? King Khan, Jay.
Here we go, guys. March 25th and 26th at the APA Hotel in New Jersey. It's going to be a great time. First time it's going to be 2 days. Greg MTG always puts on a hell of a show. A ton of great vendors there. Our friends, Gary, Erod, Streetside Anthony. I believe Erod is taking submissions there for pressing. It's always good to buy comics from him because he'll tell you exactly what's wrong with them and then he'll press them for you. So it's going to be a great time, guys. 2 days is going to be dope. We'll be partying Saturday night. You know that. Sunday, we'll see what goes on. We have a ton of awesome shit to give away, guys. Villains hooked us up with a ton of omnibuses to be given away because we're too cheap to ship them because they're so damn heavy. So we got omnis to give away. We got slabs to give away. We're going to have games. We're going to walk around. We're going to talk to vendors, talk to customers. It's going to be a couple of dope artists there. We got Zombie Pets is going to be there. We got, who else? What's Tom's boy's name?
Desjardins.
Desjardins will be there. It's going to be a good time, guys. We'll be drinking. We'll be hanging out, having a blast. Even if you're not looking to buy comic books, come hang out. Come shoot the shit. Come talk about comic books. Let us know what you're reading, what you're buying, or what you're selling, right? I'm trying to trade. I need a Daredevil 1 in my life. So it's going to be a great... Mark, you're not far off with that, bro. You're not far off.
What is he saying? Pole dance? Listen, we can't talk about that live. We can't be talking about stuff like that live. So, oh my God. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a good time.
It gets bigger and better every year. Whatnot will not be there. I don't think they'll be there, right? At least there won't be no Whatnot stands. There might be guys working for Whatnot there, but nothing will be published from there. Or the only thing that's going to be published from there is our channel. We got a ton of great people going, guys. If you're in the tri-state area, definitely come. Try to spend the night because you're not going to want to miss out on the party, and it's going to be great.
That's it. And like Jay said, I fucked it up last time. But Villains Only Incorporated send us those awesome. I told him, I apologize. I was fucking out of my mind that night, and I said the wrong name. So big shout out to Villains Only. I know Jay gave him one already. I wanted to give him one as well. Really cool thing that he did for us, and hopefully he's gonna come hang out with us at King Con as well, and hang out at the booth and come on the live show. That'll be a fun time. Guy, I think we got some stuff to show off for a good cause.
We do. We are selling t-shirts, guys. All the proceeds for these t-shirts that we do sell, we're going to do pre-orders on these t-shirts. They will be going to our friends up in Alaska. Aegis Comics of Alaska. They were going through a tough time this year, and we're trying to do our part and help out us, 3 Men in the Basement. They had their auction this past Friday and raised some more money as well. They have their GoFundMe page for Aegis that obviously you can donate to that. But here is the t-shirt, guys. It says, obviously, Comics for All Ages, which is a nice little play on words there.
See what you did there, guy. I see what you did there.
Appreciate it. The shirts are awesome, guys. They're being done by Dave the Brother, who does all the shirts for most of the guys in our community. Roger Levesque's brother. So grab a t-shirt. T-shirts are $35, Matt?
35 shipped in the U.S.
Yes, sir. 35
going for a good
shipped.
Cause.
It's all the proceeds and all the profits are gonna go straight towards Aegis. Just letting you know. We're not keeping anything. Everything goes towards them. So this is strictly a charity thing. The back of the t-shirt has all the guys that were involved in making this happen. All the channels that are part of our community. We will have, obviously, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to 3 Men, but if you reach out to us, do it on Instagram or Pressable Defects email as well. And then obviously, we're going to be selling this print as well.
This is awesome.
Jay, you wanna tell them about the print, Jay, because this is absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. Our buddy and nobody that draws came up. He heard we were doing a good thing. Matt reached out to him and they had some ideas. I didn't see this till much later, but he absolutely killed that. It's The Last Supper, but the comic book version. We got Very Gary there. On the left, we got Guyuch, we got me, we got Matty Forge, we got the legendary Stanley, we got Otto, we got Roger, we got TiVo, and last but not least, we got a gray eyebrowed E-Rod. This looks fantastic, guys. So it's something. Again, we're gonna be we're gonna be selling these prints. All proceeds are gonna go to Amy and Lou over at Aegis. I thought this was I couldn't have picked a better sonnet. The Last Supper of comic book collectors. That came out dope, guys.
Guys, to have this in your personal collection, we're not gonna. This is a one-time shot. We're gonna make these and that's it. So get them while they're hot. It's for a good cause. It's just awesome. It really is.
Yeah,
William says the Eva shirts are one of a kind, dude. That's mine and mine.
Yeah,
Eva's
sorry.
gonna want money if we start printing Eva shirts.
Yeah, so like Guy said, 25 shipped in the U.S. We'll probably be selling these in person at King Con. But this is everything. All the profits are going straight to them to help out the store, help out a good member of the community. So reach out to us if you want one. If you want, it's just these are cool little things. They're fun. T-shirts are nice. The print's gonna be nice. It's gonna be 11 by 17, nice big print. And then you're helping out the community here. So whatever you guys want, let us know on Instagram. Let us know on pressabledefects@gmail.com, and we'll hook you guys up, all right, for a good cause. I think that about does it. We thought we were going to be short tonight, but we actually are long on time because you know how it gets. We start talking and we just go. We just fucking go. So yeah, the Eva shirts. We should have just sold the Eva shirt.
Oh, I saw Black Panther 2.
Okay. Quick 30-second review from Jay on a Marvel movie. This is groundbreaking.
I like the movie.
Put him up there.
I like the movie up until the very end. When you have a C-list comic book character like Shuri beat Namor.
After she was stabbed.
But not only beats him, but then Namor goes back home and tells everyone he just lost to the greatest warrior Earth has. So now where the fuck does Namor go from there? Who's he going to fight that he's going to beat now? That's what I want to know. Great movie. But Namor losing to Shuri 2 days after she had the Black Panther suit? Not for me, bro.
He's gonna go down in the ocean and work out a
I'll
little bit more.
fight this dude right now.
It's gonna be it's like Rocky 3.
What big villain is he gonna fight after taking an L to Shuri? It just didn't make sense to me.
And Shuri was literally stabbed in the stomach.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I didn't like that. And then to go back to take the L and go back and tell his people, I just lost to the greatest warrior on Earth. Dude, you haven't even met these warriors. You're gonna get your shit fucked up, dude. I don't know. That shit pissed me off.
He went back to Tolakan or whatever they're calling it. What like the dude that's like, yo, I got jumped by like three or four of them, and there was like one guy there.
Yeah,
one guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Oh my god!
It killed it for me, dude. It killed the whole thing for me. I'm like, how did this happen?
It's a very good point.
The guy been
very
fighting for thousands of years, man. Thousands of years he been fighting. This chick got one fight. Oh, Jesus Christ.
She got one fight under her belt
Yeah.
as Black Panther.
But seriously, now, where does Namor go from here? Who does he beat? Like, who could he beat now? Like,
he's got to work his way back up the line.
It's always gonna be in the back of my head. Like, what the fuck, man?
Maybe he could start off. Maybe he could start off with like, I don't know, like Wanda's kids. He could start there, you know, beat them up. You know what I mean?
Beat a bunch of kids up. Nice.
Beat a bunch of kids up. You know, maybe that dude from the Apple store in Falcon and Winter Soldier, like that's probably the next level for him to get to. After that,
He's got to work his way up.
Yeah, he's got to work his way up.
The memorial was great. I thought the acting was great. I thought the scenes were dope. That fight on the bridge was dope.
Fight on the bridge was dope.
And then they just hit you with the straight up Namor L, dude. That was brutal.
The ending was cheesy. I didn't like the ending.
Listen, when I first saw him jumping through the air and doing the whoosh, whoosh with the wings on his feet, dope. And then all of a sudden, that's what we get.
Yeah.
All right, boys, I'm shot. I think we're just about out of time. Actually, tomorrow night, you'll see us again. Me and Jay are going to be over on Elite Comics. We're doing what they're calling a chatterbox. And let me bring it up on the screen real quick. I think I could do that. Do I know how to do that still?
Not to be confused with Chatterbait.
Yes, that's what Guy will be doing tomorrow night.
Way off.
So there you go. Tomorrow night, Chatterboxes. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern on Elite Center. Elite, what is that? Elite_Center 11. So it's like they have two sales pages. That page gives a little bit more comic info. So we're going to be over there. And we're going to be over there with Frank's Comics, and we're going to be doing tips on buying raw books. So there you go. So come hang out with us. Come support. That could become like a once a month kind of thing, or once every 2 months. So we'll see how it goes the first time around, but that'll be fun. So come hang out. That'll be tomorrow night at 7, and then you'll see us again next Monday night, right? Jay, you're not going to be here though, right? You're going to be sipping and just catching some rays.
That's it. I'll be beach bound, boys and girls.
So me and Guy will see you next Monday night. Jay will see you in about 2 weeks, and that's it. Defects, we love you.
But before we head out, let's tell these people what to do on their way out, Matt.
That's a good point, guys. Cold keys in the future. When things start to shake up a bit, right now it feels like we're in Antarctica all over the place. So there's nothing really too cold out there, but at some point I'm sure we'll get back to that, all right?